Sandy. Good evening. How are you? I hope that this finds you doing well. Just waiting for, hey Sharon, hello. Just gonna give it a minute or so and let some more people jump on. I hope everybody's doing great. Hey Vesta. Some people might not know it, but it'll actually tell me who's watching. So if you don't say anything, I still get to know. Hi Joanne, how are you? Oh my goodness, what a day. Hi Demetra, how are you? Hi Paula. So Kansas is here. So good to see everyone's name popping up. If you're new, jump in and say hi and let us know where you're watching from. We always like to have new people hopping in. Hi Pat, how are you? Oh, you got rain. I was just going to ask you how South Dakota was, but you got rain. Ugh. Hi Doris. A little update on the Chirpy Doodle retreat. Hey sis, the retreat has only 6 spots left for the 2023 retreat. Hi Peggy. So it's going great as far as getting people reserving their spot. So I'm so excited. Oh, you're happy to have rain. I'm having a hard time following where all the weather and the natural things that are going on. So Pat, do you have wildfires? Is that why you need the rain? You know, they're happening and popping up everywhere. I can't keep track of, you know, who's going through that right now. I know it's very hot in a lot of parts of the United States. Hi, Lori. So, this morning, I went with 2 of my friends to a traveling quilt exhibit. It's the Sacred Threads, and all of these quilts have been designed and put together out of grief or pain that these artists have experienced, and it's their way of working through their grief and their pain, and getting to hear the stories behind some of these. Wow, it's quite something. Beautiful work, but boy, some of the tragedies that they've gone through, it's really bad. You haven't had fires, but it's been very dry. Oh, so you've had lots of smoke. We were told that, I think it was this morning, that we could possibly have a haze here in Ohio due to the smoke from the wildfires. It was hazy, but I don't know if I really could tell that it was from the smoke or not. So Peggy says, hello, everyone. Great. Okay, well, quite a few are on. So I just had that little update on the retreat. Hi, Zena. Today is the 24-hour stamps sale. All the stamp sets in the annual catalog are 15% off. So I'm hoping that you might have been able to find something that you like and get it at a discount. Plus the new, the 3rd week of weekly specials was posted. Maybe you found something there. I happen to have been helping a customer with an order, and I don't usually pay attention to numbers. I think you can get caught up in numbers, and then it overshadows the joy that you were having in something. But I was helping her with her orders, and it just happened to roll up where I fell in the quarterly sales and things like that. And I was shocked. I am real close to having like the best quarter that I've ever had. And like I said, I'm not a numbers keeper because I just think that numbers can steal your joy. But I just caught it out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, oh, maybe by the end of September, it'll happen. And if it doesn't, I still had a really good quarter. So I'm really excited, but it just happened to pop up, and I was like kind of shocked. But it made me happy, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you. If there's anything I can do to help you with an order, if you have questions about product, let me know. I mean, that's what I want to do is help you out with that. Hi, Mary Lee. So let's flip the camera around and let me show you what we're going to make today. Okay, where's my camera? Okay, there we go. Okay. And the usual, moving some things around on the desk. Oh, I tightened some things on my stand here, and ooh, they're snug. There we go. Now let's see if I can remember how to... Oh, it's already the right way. How did that happen? I don't even remember what I did here. Usually I have to flip something around. But yay for us, I didn't have to. Now I want to move this so I can spread out, but still be able to follow the comments. Our dormer upstairs has, the two sides are the roof, so the ceiling kind of slants down, and I kind of lifted my computer a little high, but all is good. So, okay, it looks good on the computer. What I wanted to use was something I haven't been able to play with yet, and that's the bottle punch. I love punches. I don't know about everybody else, but I love punches. I appreciate dies, and there's dies that you just gotta have, but I am a punch girl. It's so easy just to grab a punch and get going. So it's going to be the bottle punch. And then in the annual catalog is where you'll find this bundle. And I was going to use these flowers here, but they're a little large for the area that I have. So the great thing is in the mini catalog is a set called Vintage Christmas. Again, bottles. This bottle here will punch out with the punch, but I'm not going to use these bottles. I'm going to use these flowers here, these centers, and then the greenery for in my bottle. I like this bottle here because I love the blue, like blue wine bottles. And have you ever seen those bottle trees? I love, like, I don't even know if it's cobalt blue, but some of those bottles are really, really pretty. So I want to go with this solid bottle here. And then I'm going to show you two cards where I used this bottle and I just fussy cutted that bottle out. So that's what I'm using. And hi Jean, how are you? So here's my two cards. This is the short bottle here. And by the way, these bottles stamp so nicely. Sometimes with the more solid images, and it could be me inking up the stamp, but sometimes I struggle with getting good coverage, and these just stamped beautifully. I was so impressed by that. So this is the short one, and then here's the long one, and I did it in the garden green because I chose to play with the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper, and I really meant to have some other examples done in different Designer Series paper to show you how it can change the vibe or the feel of the card, but I ran out of time. But just imagine this with other colors, okay? So what we're going to be playing with are all of these little circles. And what I wanted to also showcase was this die that's in the Scalloped and Contour die set, how it makes this really pretty scallop. And when I measured that scallop, they were like 1-inch circles. So that's why I came up with, or that's how the 1-inch circles came to be, because I wanted them to lay like kind of right in that stitching, right above the stitching. So that's why the 1-inch. But I'm going to show you that if you don't have this die, or in Sharon's case, she's using hexes, and you can still get a contoured edge even if you don't have a die. You just won't be placing your hexes or your circles all the way to the end of the edge. You're going to set them back a little bit so that you can go back with your snips and just fussy cut around whatever shape you used, and it will give you a different bordered edge. Okay? Sharon, my card base is the standard this one here is, okay, so 11 by 4 1/4, and this one is scored at 5 1/2, but the card that I'm doing tonight's in portrait mode, so it's your 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and then scored at 4 1/4. This is the one we're going to do a vertical. These are both landscape mode, but we're going to do a vertical one also. Okay, did that answer your question? Jean, thank you for sharing. Oh, and thank you, Joanne. I'm excited too. I hope it happens, but like I said, I've had a good quarter regardless. So, you know, it'll be what it will be. So this is the layout that we're going to use tonight. So once we get into that, I'll explain more about getting this cut if you've got the die or that you don't. Right now I want to do a little bit of stamping. Okay, so the stamp set is photopolymer, so we need some kind of a cushion. So this little pad that goes in my Stamparatus has been working okay for me. And I did some steps ahead, but we're going to do some together. So on the card, let me show you. I don't know if you can see, but I stamped the whole background, and then I stamped the bottle and the flowers on a piece of scrap paper, and I popped them up on top of the image underneath it. That way you've got a shadow of color underneath there, and we're just setting these on top. Okay, so let's stamp our bottle, and I'm using Starry Sky. I thought it was the closest to, not only does it go with the Designer Series paper, but it reminded me of the blue bottles. So just gonna make sure I'm getting good coverage, and then I'm just gonna stamp this so that I can punch it out. Isn't that gorgeous? This stamp, oh my goodness, these stamps just come off so nice and crisp. I just am so impressed with it. So there's our bottle. And then I'm going to do the flowers in Sweet Sorbet. So we're done with that stamp. Here's my flowers. And remember, the flowers are actually from the vintage Christmas because the other flower image was too wide. So I'm just going to stamp my flowers. And then there's a stamp that does the center. Plus it gives it like these little pine cone things around it that I liked. They could just be a different texture of flower. Then you don't have to look at it as a pine cone. So I'm going to bring this close to me because I need to line it up. And I apologize if my hair and my head gets in the live. I'm still getting the hang of lining up the centers. And so what I would do is I would end up fussy cutting just around the flower. I'm going to get some of the little pine cones, but not all of them. I just want like the flowers, and then punch the bottle. So we'll just slip this in here. I want a nice little white edge all the way around. Oops, it's moved on me a minute. Okay, let's try this. And there's our bottle. I just love it. Love, love, love this set. And so there's our bottle. And then I would just go around. And Doris, I've been trying to perfect my fussy cutting. Sometimes it's a hit and sometimes it's a miss. But I found that if I keep the paper all the way back in the jaw of the scissors, then I have better control. I don't know if that's just me, but seems like I can control it better, and then turning the paper. But I'm getting better. Bigger images are a lot more fun to fussy cut. And then when it starts getting tight, I just get rid of it. Because sometimes it's really wonky turning that paper. Okay, so here I'm getting a little wide. Let's see if I can get back on track. A lot of pressure doing this on camera. And I know Doris is watching. Gonna get in there a little ways and then spin it around. Okay. So there are my flowers. Okay. So I have my bottle and I have my flowers. And then what I want to do, where's my other white 2.5 inch or 2-inch piece? Make sure this is 2 inches by 5.5. Okay. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to stamp my whole image on here. So, I did a shortcut to show you. So here I stamped my bottle, I stamped the flowers just like I did on that scrap piece of paper, and I added the greenery. And I stamped my sentiment. Drew a little line here to anchor the bottle down so the bottle wasn't floating in the air. And once that was all done, I chose to run it through the subtle embossing folder. And you can use any embossing folder, but I wouldn't pick an embossing folder that has a lot of stuff going on with it, because it's going to take away from whatever you stamped here as your focal image. So I ran it through the subtle embossing folder just to give it some texture. And then what we're going to do is, using dimensionals, we're going to pop the bottle up, and we're going to pop the flowers up. Then all of this greenery and those yellow pine cones, or whatever you want to call them, are looking like they're in the background. Okay? So with some dimensionals, we'll get this out of the way, and then we'll go to the fun stuff with putting all those 1-inch circles down. I'm going to use a little dimensional up here, because I'm going to tie the linen thread right around the neck of that bottle. But first I'm going to put this on. And I'm just going to pop this right over. Oh, not that one. Where did I? Oh yeah, this one. Oh, I'm getting discombobulated here. So I'm just going to pop that. And then see how you can see the shadow underneath? Instead of that being white, you see color underneath there. I don't know if I can tilt it just the right way that you can kind of get. Well, there, it just did it. There you can see it. Okay. And before I put my flowers on, I'm going to take some linen thread, and I'm going to stick this behind the bottle, right around the neck there. And I'm going to tie a bow right around the neck of the bottle. Those dimensionals are going to keep this linen thread from coming off. And I am terrible at tying bows. I just feel like I'm all thumbs. So we'll just play with our loops a little bit. Snip off the extra thread for now. Just keep kind of playing with it. Make sure it's nice and snug. And then we'll just trim the tails off a little bit. I kind of like the wildness about them, but if you run the linen thread through your fingers and cause a little friction there, it helps them lay a little better instead of so wild and crazy. So there we have our bow around our bottle, and now we'll just pop up our flowers. I'm going to put a little dimensional right there. And we're just going to place this right over that bottle, but lining it up with the flowers that you had already stamped. Okay, now let's see. It goes like... Okay, like this. How am I off a little bit? That looks good right there. Okay, and then move that bow, move that loop out so it's out in front. And now you've created a 2D image or feel to your card. It's not all just laying flat, and this will help, you know, give some dimension to the card itself. Okay, so set your focal image aside, and let's bring in the card base. Okay, so what I did to get this scalloped edge is, let's say this is the edge that we're going to put a scallop on. Now, where's my die? Here it is. Okay, so you're going to lay it down. This solid line here is going to do the cutting, and these little dots are going to put in the, like the stitched look. So I'm just going to put it almost down to the end, all the way to the edge here. And then what I did was I took, you can use washi tape or some kind of a low-tack tape, and I put this, secured it down, and I ran it through the die cut machine. And so what it gave me was this edge here. If you aren't using a die, then what you could do, and Sharon, this would be what you would do with your hexies, is when you put your circles or your hexies down, don't put them all the way to the edge when we go to glue them down, okay? Because once your row is done, then you can come in and you can fussy cut your scalloped border, okay? So that's discombobulated. So that's what you can do if you don't have the scallop die. And by using the hexies, then you'll just go in, Sharon, and you'll fussy cut, you know, around the shape of your hexies and give you that really cool border. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I got all of these circles and solids, prints. Oh, I knew I had more. And so what I'm going to do with this first row, now my card is in portrait mode. So if any of my images have a direction, I'm going to pay attention to that as I'm, you know, gluing them down. So, and I want to leave just a little bit here to the side so I don't cover up that stitching. And then it's just a matter of gluing your shapes down. You could use hexies, you could use circles. I think any shape could work. And then just going to lay that in there like that, leaving that stitching border. And then it's just picking up pieces and putting them down. What I found I liked doing was whatever designer series paper I used here, I just flipped it over, you know, because Stampin' Up! Has already figured out what papers work well together. So I'm just going to follow their lead and make it easy on myself and just pick up the same circle but flip it over. Okay, so let's put this blue one. Oh, that one is not a very nice circle. And try not to overthink it. I know it's hard to do, and I really don't take my own advice, but just play. This one, I have another blue one. Well, if I don't, then I'm just going to have to pick out something else. Here's one. This could be a Christmas card if you're using Christmas paper. You can make it really for any occasion that you want. So I just wanted to play with some punches, and then I, you know, when I saw the scalloped die, then I thought, oh, that would make a really pretty border. Let's just play around with that. Oh, let's see, what was on the other side of that Tahitian Tide? I don't know if I want that one. I'll use this one. Now, when you do your second row, what you want to make sure that you do is that you cover up your background to your card base. So I'm going to come back down to the bottom and work myself back up. So I want to cover up where they meet. So you're covering up that little bit of a gap. I don't want that one. We could use this one. And be careful if you're going off the paper. Make sure you have like your silicone mat or something that if your glue gets on it, it can rub off there. Let's see, that was a pink one. So what I found is if you're doing this layout and you're doing it in portrait mode or vertically, it's going to take 3 rows of these 1-inch circles. The landscape ones took an extra row. But if you made your focal image wider, then you might just be able to still do the 3 rows. It's all a matter of play. Okay. I know this is kind of boring, isn't it? This part here. We'll do another pink one because we're just flipping it over. Oh, those are, oh, I almost thought they were the same design, but they're not. I'm going to slide this down a little bit so that I hide where they were overlapping. And then let's see. Where's the green one? We'll do these here. And then we'll use the opposite side of that one. Oh, I probably didn't need that much glue because this is going to go off the edge. Okay, so we got one more row to do, and then we'll trim everything off. And then we'll finish building our card. think I want to bring back in that Tahitian Tide. Okay, just 3 more. We haven't used yellow yet. I went to town punching these 1-inch circles, so I've got a couple extra card bases all ready to go so that I can keep going and make a few more. Okay, let me see here. We need some purple. Where did I just see that? Purple. There we go. Fresh freesia. And then we just need a partial one there at the top. I think I'm going to come back in with some more red. Now flip it over. Got some glue on that. Rubbing off. I got my handy little adhesive eraser if I need to come in with that. And now what we want to do is we want to cut off the extra. And as you can see here, I've got glue. I can either put some baby powder on those to take the tackiness off. I should have just been plain old more careful on what I did with the glue. But I'm going to use my Teflon scissors here. Just going to cut off the extra. Or I don't know if they're Teflon. They're supposed to be non-stick. Let's put it that way. And so here we have our scalloped edge, and we've got our circles. So now we can come in with our focal piece. What did I do with it? And I want to leave a little bit of a border on the left side. You can determine how much of a border you want, but I'm going to leave a little bit of a border, and then to separate the focal image from the designer series paper, that's where this 1/8 of an inch piece of cardstock comes into play. It's the same color as my card base. Then I will just butt that right up to that edge, and then that becomes the separation between the two. If you wanted to use ribbon or something else right there, you could. It's up to you, but a piece of cardstock will do the same. Just try to leave that nice little border. And then I'm just going to run a really thin bead of the liquid glue right along, just off the edge of where the image that we stamped. And I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to let it run off the edge of the card, and then I'll just trim it off. So there's our separation. Okay. And then all we've got to do is put our inside to the card, which I just chose, you know, a piece of basic white. You could stamp maybe the bottle image on this piece if you wanted to. Looking for a nice little even border. Got to put our backing on, so I've got, since the message says sending a little message, I'm going to use these little envelopes that are on the back side of the designer series paper in the Tea Boutique, since I'm sending something. Oh, you know what I forgot to do is get my button ready for my back, so I'll have to do that later. And normally, you know, I'll put my little button on the back. But there is our little card. And I think what I want to do is bring in some embellishments. And I think I'll use the petal pink little circles. And I'm just going to put 3 of them on there. One more, like right there. So there's a little bit of bling there, but let's bring out the Winka Stella. Stella, what did I do with you? And let's put a little sparkle on our bottle where this is highlighted. Let's give just a little sparkle to our bottle. And then I think I'm going to put a little bit of sparkle where I didn't get the centers of the flowers exactly lined up, so kind of like camouflage that it's not like centered exactly. Will trick the eye. And I think it's done. So there's our bottled happiness. So this is the vertical or portrait side. And then here was the landscape. It took another row of circles. And because there was so much to this side, what I did was I just put I stamped my message here, my sentiment, and then I punched it out with the postage stamp punch and just kind of help fill in this wide area of circles. Now, I didn't do it on this one. The shorter bottle gave me room to put it up here. And then there's just more of the circles here to see. So, and you can see the Winka Stella there. So this was just playing with the bottled punch and the stamp set. So I hope that you like it, and I hope that whatever you chose to use, I know you will, because the creativity in this group is phenomenal. So I know that you'll use whatever you pulled out and create something really, really awesome. But again, I use this sentiment, this bottle. These flowers here would probably work on the landscape card, especially if you kept to the shorter bottle here so that you had room, because you could make this wider. You've got plenty of room on this side. You could make this piece wider and then use the wider bouquet of flowers. But since I didn't have the room, well, I just so happened to have the Vintage Christmas, and I've got more bottles. So look at the texture of this bottle here, and I'll be able to use that punch. So, you know, I have more options. And for some reason, I'm getting out of camera, and I don't know if it's something that, the way I did my stand or what. So, Bottled Happiness, Vintage Christmas, and the Bottle Punch to make this card. Oh, will I have a PDF for this, Paula? I have been so good at having a PDF ready when I do a live, and time just got away from me, because and part of that reason is because I was getting all the card kits together. But I will work on a PDF for this. I don't have it now. I think if you go back and watch the replay, you'll see how to do it. And then in the group, I had posted all the cutting instructions for you. So if you want to go back to that right now and then just watch the replay, it's pretty easy. I think you'll have a really easy time with it. I just need a little bit more time to get the PDF done. So I will work on that though, okay? And Sharon says she likes hers. Sharon, I can't wait to see what you did. Oh, thank you, Margaret. Yeah, you know me. I like options, and I want to be able to give you options. And plus, our options actually... Hey, Carol. How are you? Hey, Jane. Actually, our options just push us in a little further down the creativity lane. And the wheels start spinning, and now it's one more idea, and it just keeps us going. So, yeah, options are a good thing. So, you know what I didn't do? I didn't do Happy Mail. So, let's do a little bit of Happy Mail. Just kind of push everything aside. And, oh, here it is. Doris sent me some really cute projects. And we're gonna do these in time. I wish I had all the time in the world. There's like so many projects, but not enough time. She had sent me her little Tootsie Pop. Remember when we did these? Oh, let me grab one. I have one sitting right here. This was one of our 2D projects from a couple of weeks ago. Well, look how cute is this. And this is such a simple design because all you need is a background square. You know, look at that. Even a glue dot so that you can keep that sucker from moving around. And here's that sparkly ribbon. So that was her little project to me. And then check these out. And I know you've probably seen some demonstrators doing the wiggly legs, and they're using the feet from the Bewitching. Oh, I got it here somewhere. I just can't find it. Bewitching, I think that is the stamp set. But this is not the same legs, but you can do this where the legs go back and forth. Has anybody seen some demonstrators doing this yet? I happened to catch a live the other day and someone was doing it. But this is a really cute card that we can make. And then I wish we had some elf legs right now. Because look at this elf leg and the elf hat. Cute little Christmas card. Cute, cute, cute. So, definitely some projects for us to do. And then this next project. I was so excited when I opened up the mail, the package, and saw this, because high on my to-do list or on my Pinterest boards, one of the things that I want to do so bad is I want to do something with Hershey nuggets. You know how they wrap the pretty little paper around the nuggets and then they're all lined up really nice in a row, you know, in a package or something? I've been wanting to do that forever. Where is it? Where is, oh, here it is. So in Doris's little goodie bag, now this isn't all glued down because she wanted me to see how and where, like, she put the adhesive and stuff. But this would close and make a pocket, and then you could pull out your little, make this a card and pull this out and tuck that in. This is the favorite part of mine. We've got an opening here, and it's a little box for you to put your Hershey nuggets. I just love this so much. I cannot wait to do this. And this can be Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's, so, a little hostess gift, something. But you create this box. You'd put your Hershey nuggets in there. You got a little opening here. And then you would close it down at the bottom and secure it down here. But it's this cute. Oh, I was so excited when I saw this because, like I said, I've been wanting to do something with Hershey nuggets for a year or more. This is going to be so cute when we do this project. And again, don't just think Halloween. Christmas, Valentine's Day. This is going to be one of those projects that you can go back to and use over and over again. This would be a cute favor for a birthday party or something like that. So I was so excited to get that. And then my other piece of happy mail, I want to thank Vesta for this beautiful card. Next Tuesday is our official 25th wedding anniversary, the silver wedding anniversary. And I say official because it took us 11 years to decide that we were going to get married. You know, we really wanted to test out the waters and see just how compatible we were. Just joking. He's the greatest. So Vesta sent me this beautiful silver anniversary card. I know there's going to be a lot of shine on it. We've got ribbon with beautiful silver glitter here. And just a really pretty anniversary card. So I just want to thank Vesta because it was so pretty. And, you know, somewhere along the line, she heard me mention our wedding anniversary. And this was a really sweet, sweet surprise. And it's kind of funny because my husband's like, well, what are we supposed to do for our silver anniversary? He goes, I Googled it, and it just says silver. And I said, well, I don't know, because we're not ones to, like, go out and buy things. We enjoy just going out to dinner and coming back home. So we're both kind of like, well, are we supposed to do something special for our 25th? We weren't really sure what to do. And so I got on Google, and I said to him, I said, well, there's these things called anniversary rings. I was thinking maybe I can get a diamond out of it. I don't know. We're not ones to get real extravagant about things like that, but I was thinking, Oh, anniversary band. Maybe a new piece of jewelry. But again, we're, you know, we don't go all out for a lot of things like that, although I would be totally in love with something, blingy. But again, like I said, the other special anniversaries, we just like going out to dinner and maybe spend a little bit more than that we normally would for the occasion. But Vesta, thank you so much, because this was just beautiful. And the fact that it's silver, it's perfect. So thank you so much. I don't have anything else. Remember, the 24-hour stamp sale goes to what would I guess be midnight Mountain Time. I don't even know how many hours behind they are from Eastern Standard Time, but like right before midnight Mountain Time, I think you can still get the discount on the stamps that are in the annual catalog. And then the weekly special, that goes till like next Wednesday late evening for those. And I think that's it, everybody. I'm going to let you get back to whatever your Thursday evening is that you've got going on. I have a bunch of more circles here to use so that I have a couple extra card bases. So I'm going to finish these 2 cards off and have just a nice little set here that would, that I think is pretty cute. So everybody have a blessed evening, and thank you for hanging out with me. Okay, so today's Thursday. So the end of the month, we still have like a week and a half before we do the card kit together. So I'll see everybody next Thursday, and it will be the regular time at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Amanda! Hello! So late, she says. Better late than never. And then Carol asked a question: is anyone going to local Stampin' the convention in Indianapolis? I am, Carol. So maybe we can meet. Jean's going. Tony's going to Indianapolis. Marilyn's going to Indianapolis. I'm not sure who else. Are there other demonstrators on here? Who just said I'm in Indy? Amanda, you're going to be in Indy? So I'm going to get to meet a lot of people before the retreat. That's awesome. So Carol, do you happen to be under Karen Titus, who's my upline? Are we fine line sisters? Regardless, either way, we have to find a way that we can exchange phone numbers or something so that we can meet. That's exciting. This is going to be my very first convention. Never have done, well, I've only been a demonstrator since 2019, and then, COVID hits and everything was put off for in person. In fact, I missed it in 2019 when Karen got to walk across the stage, and I think that was in Lansing, Michigan. I was unable to go to that one, and I really wish I could have, because she got recognized for her $1 million sales, and I had to miss that one. So I'm excited. I'm going to make some cards for, to participate in Card Swap. And so this is going to be fun. What is that? No, Karen is my B. That's all I got, Carol, on that. So I think you meant to say something more, but it kind of ended with, no, Karen is my B. Best friend? Okay, now I'm just kind of like rambling on, but it's a Thursday night. What else what else is going on? We can kind of hang out a little bit longer. Karen, Karen is your Michigan friend. Your upline is in Chicago. Okay. So we're going to have to, I know like, everyone will want to be sitting with their upline and the group and stuff. So Carol, we're going to have to figure out something so that we can meet. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah, and Amanda's like, I want to meet you all. So it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. Very excited to see all what I've only heard about for for so many years, and from so many other demonstrators who have been demonstrators for, I mean, going back as, I don't want to say going back as far because I don't want to like age anybody, but back in the day when Stampin' Up! Had their convention, it was like only in Utah, and it was like, what, a 3-day, maybe a 4-day event? So, I mean, they've got memories of it on, like this really grand scale. But it's going to be so exciting to meet people. Tony, your swap cards are done. I don't even know what I'm going to do. This is going to be Amanda's second one, and it's so inspiring, she says. Marilyn says, I'm going to love on stage. Oh my goodness. I'm excited now. Tony, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I don't know, like, how extravagant should you get with your swap cards, or should they just be simple? And, like, how many? I was thinking, like, 50 or 75. I'm not real sure what a good number is. You did 50? Okay. You did 50 swaps. What? Carol says, you did you, okay, am I reading this right? You did 150? 150? Oh my gosh. Carol, that is awesome. Jean did 50. Okay, so I'm going to do 50. I'm going to do 50. Oh my goodness, now I am really, really intrigued. 150. Oh, I cannot get over that. That is awesome. Okay, Tony, you can do whatever you want. Okay. Okay. I'm going to have to come up with something, because you know what? November's going to be here before I know it. I'm actually riding to Indianapolis. I'm going to go down to Westerville, Ohio. And I'm going to be riding with Mary Nabe. Is her name familiar with most of you? You might be catching her Facebook Lives. We've never met, but we're both Ohioans, and we seem to have a lot in common. So I think it's going to be really fun for us to ride together, so we wouldn't have to ride alone. Marilyn says you could do 200 swaps if you wanted. Wow. You know what? I don't have time to do 200, but I will do at least 50, and if it goes real well, maybe I'll tack on another 25. What's this? A shoe sorter thing? Dora, seriously. Full of swap cards. You guys, the over the door thing that you can put your shoes in? This lady had it full. I know I'm just going to be probably, my mind's just going to go at everything. So I can't wait. Oh, okay, so a lot of people are familiar with Mary. I can't wait to meet her too. I mean, go Bucks. We're both big Buckeye fans, and she's actually an alumni from The Ohio State University. So it's just going to be so much fun to actually get to meet everyone who, we see our names and we have our conversations virtually, like when we're doing the lives, and I can see that you're all talking to each other, which is really, really cool. So to actually get to meet the real life person behind the name is going to be exciting. And what I didn't know with like the local on stages is you don't have to be a demonstrator to go. You could go as like a guest and check it all out. I didn't know that. I thought it was just for demonstrators. But here recently, I heard someone talking. Maybe it was when I watched the live with Sarah, and they were talking, giving little sneak peeks into what onstage is going to look like. Maybe Sarah had mentioned it. I think the deadline to register is what, Tuesday, you guys? The 20th, I think, might be the deadline to register for onstage. But yeah, I didn't know that you could go as a guest too. And then you wouldn't know why you wouldn't want to become a demonstrator, but that's a whole nother thing. So if you're ever curious about it, please ask me, because I'd love to. My story is I joined just for the discount because I was meeting, the quota just on my own. And we have a little card group where everybody said somebody in this group has to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And so I took that on, and they've been a great support system. But, it wasn't until the pandemic. In fact, it was World Card Making Day 2020. I did my very first Facebook Live. And what Karen had done was she was like, if anybody wants to do a Facebook Live on World Card Making Day, I'll organize it. You pick your time. I will promote you and send, my followers over to see your live. And I did it, and I loved it. So then I just, on my own, created a Facebook page and started doing lives. But you don't have to do that. I joined for the discount. And, but I also love teaching classes and making things, so it kind of fit for me. But my 2nd year anniversary for a Facebook Live is going to be World Card Making Day this year. So, a lot of people I know are in it for the discount, which is really nice. And we get to pre-order new catalogs so we can get it before everybody else. The discount, just so many really good perks to being a demonstrator. And you don't have to do a Facebook Live. It just, you know what? I never planned on it. It just happened the way it happened. And I'm just slowly going with the roll. I'm happy, really happy where I'm at. Of course, I want to build a team. It's so much fun if you've got, getting your team bigger and stuff. But I really like going slow at things. And so I like the pace that I'm on. But if anybody has been thinking about, wanting to join because you would like the discount, get a hold of me so I can help you with that. Well, we're going to be like newbies all together because I haven't been doing it long enough to know all the ins and outs, but we can have fun learning the process as a team. We'll just, we'll do it together. So, that's really all I have. I just like hanging out with everybody. So, is there any other questions? Carol says, are you going to Karen's Friday event with Brandy Cox? Carol, I don't know about that one. Oh, Holly, you are so sweet. Aw. That just made my heart very happy. Thank you. And you know, when I was trying to decide, you know, like, well, what will I do in my Facebook Live? I was already making quilt cards. And so I thought, just do a simple quilt card. And in fact, it was the Broken Dishes quilt pattern. And it was just a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch back of cardstock. And then it was a smaller, it's like a card within a card. And it was just a smaller card on top that you could open. And it might have been a 3-inch square, but it was the Broken Dishes pattern. And yeah, I just, you know, thought, well, I'll just show them a quilt card, because that's what I had been doing on my own, was taking quilt patterns and making quilt cards. And I did it and found that there was a lot of people who love quilts. And we just all like to hang out and combine quilts and the love of quilts with our card making, scrapbooking. And it's really, really cool that you can combine the two. And then it was October of 2020 that I did my first barn quilt card kit. We're coming up on 2 years on barn quilt card kits, and we have not repeated the same quilt pattern. So it's pretty awesome. You know, the possibilities are endless, and it's so much fun, you know, creating the next card kit. And, you know, whether it's a theme or it's just you know, taking some traditional quilt patterns and making a mini quilt, because these blocks are usually only 2 inches square. So we are like making these miniature quilt blocks and doing this card kit. And, you know, it's the love of barn quilts that inspired that. When I was trying to think of, okay, offer a card kit. Well, what do I have to offer that could be different from someone else? And a friend of mine here in Toledo has a big old barn quilt on their pole barn. And in fact, her barn quilt was featured in the 2020, no, I think it was the beginning of 2021. We had the Ohio Star and we had a Kentucky Star, because Janice Turk had sent me a picture of her friend's barn in Kentucky, that it was like the same quilt block, but the pieces were different, you know, like where the colors fell. And it was changed up just a little bit. So we did those 2 blocks. I believe it was the beginning of 2021. But it's just been so awesome to have so many barn quilt cards. And I can't believe we're approaching the 2nd year with that. And so it's still going strong, so I'm not going to quit offering it. It's a lot of fun. So let's see what else is like. So in 2023 will be my 4-year anniversary with Stampin' Up, but my first live was 2020, so 2 years ago. And it's just a lot of fun. I've made so many friendships. They may be virtual right now, but we are going to meet at some point. So they're going to be, you know, in person, and it's just been so much fun. The community is so great. I have just like so many more creative friends, and we learn from each other. So I'm not going to keep you guys. I know I'm just like, it's my Thursday night, and yeah, it's going on what? 10 o'clock now, but I'm not doing anything else. But I got to remember, some of you may be trying to have supper right now. So I will, Carol has been with Stampin' Up 19 years. That is amazing, Carol. Man, we could learn a lot from you, because you have probably seen and done it all in Stampin' Up. So we're so glad that you're part of the group, because we'll be looking for, you know, things that you post over in the community group. Hi, Beth. Oh, I'm so glad that you look forward to the lives. I know I can ramble. I tend to, like, get lost, and it almost feels like we're all just sitting right here in the room together. So we just, I just keep talking because I feel you haven't left the room on me. But I know I got to end it because you have lives, and, you know, your time zone is different. So you may be getting supper, or maybe you got some other things you need to do before it gets dark. Marilyn, you remember my first live? It was so much fun. And Karen had put me, we somehow tied in on the signal, and all of a sudden I was out there for everybody to see, and it was a little nerve-wracking, but it was fun. So much fun. So yeah, I don't see any questions. I know, Joanne, isn't that something? 19 years? That is just so awesome. The changes that you see in, like, style and what was popular. Back when I was first introduced to Stampin' Up, it was like 1998, and the whole country vibe thing was going on with the folk art and the Americana country type, the angels, and just that whole design from the late 90s, and the whole country feel. And then look at where we're at now, like with the artistically inked stamp set. There's just so much art, and the styles just change over the years. But I kept some of my favorite wooden stamps from back in the late 90s that I just couldn't bear to part with. And in fact, my set Lovely as a Tree, which, right when I joined Stampin' Up, I think that same year or the next year they retired Lovely as a Tree. But my set is on wood blocks. So I mean, we're going back. And like Ballet Blue, I've got ink refills. One Ballet Blue, what is the one dark green? It's not Mossy Meadow. There was a dark green. I wish they were close to me so I could get them. But, you just start reminiscing about the different colors, and just how the color and the vibrancy of the colors have changed over the years. So, Carol has every catalog from day one. That has got to be so awesome. I do save, usually I have catalogs left over. So I take a fresh catalog from everyone, and I have put them in a box for safekeeping, and that they don't get, the pages bent or anything like that. I've been saving since I started. I've been saving catalogs too. But to go, Handsome Hunter, I remember that green. And Holly's going Artichoke. Forest foliage. I remember that one too, Beth. I remember that. What are some other colors that you guys remember? Gloria's headed to bed. I understand, Gloria. I'm sorry that I'm just rambling on. Sweet dreams, and have a good day tomorrow. But yeah, all of those. Mustard. What was the mustard one? More mustard? Was that? What was the mustard one? Oh my goodness. Certainly Sorry. Oh my gosh. This is so funny. Groovy Guava. Doris, I don't even remember that. That must have been when I was away. I don't remember Summer Sunshine. More mustard. Okay, Tony. So I had that right. I don't remember some of. What does Groovy Guava even look like, Doris? If you've got that, please share a picture of what Groovy Guava. Wild Wasabi. That was before I came back into using Stampin' Up products, and I actually love that color. Wild Wasabi. This is so much fun. This is like a walk down memory lane, but oh my goodness, some of your lanes are like, I never even heard of those colors. Gloria says she's enjoying the conversation. Oh my goodness. 2006. Okay. I remember Close to Coco. I don't remember Rose Romance. Oh my gosh. I remember Close to Coco. So what year was it that Stampin' Up! Started doing in colors? Because, you know, when I joined in 2019, here's what the in colors were. Lovely Lipstick, Blueberry Bushel, Grapefruit Grove, the Lemon Lime Twist. Those were the colors, and that was the first time I ever heard about this in color thing, where the colors were swapping out. So when did that whole thing start with Stampin' Up? Does anybody know? Yo-Yo Yellow, that sounds fun. Positively Pink, Tempting Turquoise, Lovely Lilac, Chocolate Chip, Only Orange. I remember that color. Oh, Kiwi Kiss. I bet that was pretty. Somewhere, what, between like Parakeet Party and Granny Apple Green or something like that. Wow, really, Tony? It's been that long that they've been doing in colors? I was not paying attention. Oh, wow. So, here's a question. How have those stamp pads held up for everybody over the years? You know, I know they went, what, from, like, is it the foam that we're using now, but the old ink pads were of something else? Crisp Cantaloupe. Oh, that sounds really, really pretty. Okay, Close to Parakeet Party. How fun to have all those colors. Wow. I am like literally blown away right now because I've got all the colors and I've got, it looks like I've got I've got 4 sets, 5 sets, I think, of, no, it could only be 4. It could only be 4. But I've got this one color, Seaside, oh, what is this, Seaside something. Okay, Seaside Spray. This was part of the terracotta Seaside Spray. There was something rose. Was Tempting Turquoise part of this? I've only got the one, so I didn't have the whole collection on this one. I just have this Seaside Spray. But then I'm like, you gotta have, you need the whole set. So then I started getting sets. So, okay, so what's this about storing upside down? Gloria asked, how do they come up with the entertaining names for these? I know, wouldn't you think that they would almost like Rococo Rose? You would think that there weren't any names left for these colors, but what I think is interesting is like Seaside Spray. Okay, so they start with S's. Cajun Craze are all C's. Poppy Parade, all P's. I really think that is really cool how they do that. But yeah, to be the one that names the colors, that's got to be an interesting process. This has been so much fun. Oh my goodness. Okay, everybody. It is now 5 minutes to 10 for us in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. So I am going to bid everybody a good night. Sweet dreams. Have a great day tomorrow. And I look forward to what cards you made tonight or will make. I look forward to pictures of them over in the Quilt Cards and More group. And I'll just be talking and sharing with you later. So everybody have a good evening.